Please welcome to the stage, Hodan Yusuf. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Afternoon. Okay, let me set the timer because I was given a very, very specific time, so I don't want to go over. Okay. What a tough act to follow, as it were. Incredible things. I got lost for my mic check-in because I was so absorbed in the panels that we were listening to earlier. And I'm just taking it all in, and it's great to be here, and it's wonderful to be in a room with a lot of babies, and it's just normal. This is life, and to bring life into this space is mothers, children. It's just wonderful, actually, and I can't quite sum it up into words, but I'm here to share some poetry and not to rant and go on and on. So what I'll do is the first one I'll read to you is a poem that I wrote specifically for Make Motherhood Diverse. I was contacted by the amazing Candice Brathwaite, who we had here earlier, and I'm sure many of you know and love, like I do. And this was a photo shoot for the 4th Trimester magazine that we did. And this is the poem I wrote for that, for the launch of Make Motherhood Diverse, which then I shared with the magazine, and I think it's most fitting to share it here today. It baffles me why some people are stubbornly averse to simply understanding and making motherhood more diverse. Many of us are Black, brown, and other people of color, straight, queer, poor, rich, struggling, or comfortable, and somewhere in between. Many of us are single or paired, married, divorced, separated, and somewhere in between. Many of us are deaf, visually impaired, or have other disabilities, some of which are hidden. Many of us have had natural births, but also C-sections, ventouse and epidurals, pethidines, gas and airs. Many of us have had fertility clinics, adopted or fostered, planned or unplanned. And in the words of Viola Davis, she was born from my heart, not my belly. Many of us are imprisoned or work away from home. Many of us were forced to leave our homes, seeking refuge in shelters and in other nations' borders, still learning the languages of our new homes. Some of us have babies who have their own struggles, misunderstood by the world, yet lovingly embedded in our hearts. But we are all mothers, and we parent the best ways we know how. Every day we rise, and every day we raise, and every day we strive and spend from our diverse purse and pockets of wealth and love, from our diverse bosoms to provide for our diverse children. Motherhood is diverse. That is the truth, and not the reverse. Thank you. People often ask you when you write, what inspires you? Why do you write? And I always find that really hard and challenging, not least because I don't want to sound pretentious in the answer, but also because it's very difficult. I've always written as far back as I can remember, and written prose, poetry, whatever. But I come from a family that, for different reasons, valued traditional methods of earning money and traditional education and, get a real job. And poetry is great, but that's a hobby, and park it over there and do it in your spare time. And I've spent the whole entirety of my life trying to marry my passion with my vocation and my livelihood, but also because writing is a resistance to so many of the challenges that we face. We're all here today because of the ethics and the reasons why Pregnant and Then Screwed exists. So many of us also have other challenges that are not necessarily in the room today blatantly, but are in the room because we carry them, because we face them, and we carry them with us. Challenges that affect us for our race, our ability or disability, our religious or sexual orientation. And these are things that are important to us. And for me, writing is a way of embodying that resistance and saying, no, we exist. And if I can write what I believe, what I experience, what people around me experience, what people in my community who don't have certain privileges that I know I have experienced, then for me it's a bit futile. So and it doesn't necessarily mean those are the struggles, the only things I write about. I write about love, I write about breakups, I write about heartbreak, I write about parenting, I write about all kinds of things. So I was asked a couple of years back now by a poetry night, which is a women's only feminist space in central London called That's What She Said, on their 2nd anniversary, to come and read some poetry there. And they told me in the email that they were serving some raspberry cheesecake, and kind of motivated me to turn up on the night. But this is the poem I wrote for their event. That's what she said. She has spent her life escaping what others insisted she should be. And the very first teacher she had was the mother who brought her into being. And this is what she said. She said that she should be pretty, and if she isn't born so, to her standard of beauty, she should contort herself so. She said her skin should be fair, and that the straighter the better her hair. She said she will speak softly and never curse, using words like damn or worse, and always cast her eyes down, she said. She said she will learn to cook and she will clean, while her brothers live like Cinderella sisters. She said she will get an education, but not before the dishes are done. And when she comes home with C, D, God forbid, worse grades at school, she will lie to those relatives, so memorize those fake grades like chapter and verse. She said she will be married before she's too old, because she doesn't want to be condemned to spinster life. She will not have a sexuality of her own, she said, or have needs or desires, and she will show him deference. She will do as he pleases. She will have his perfect children, and she will repeat this whole process. That's what she said to her daughter, and she was only 2 years old. Instead, what she could have said was, happy birthday, baby girl. Happy birthday, my darling girl. You will grow up and I will be here loving you all the way. You will find a cruel world that wants to stuff you into a corset and bleach your skin into pallor and burn your coily locks into straw. You will find a world, my beautiful girl, that shames you for what you did and did not get, instead of nurturing you for who you are and finding your potential. You will find a world that tells you that you should marry or settle for less than you deserve. A world that says girls should sit with their knees together and where belly laughs are shunned. A world where women who cannot or choose not motherhood are almost denied full membership into womanhood. Baby girl, I will be here, loving you as you are all the way. You're clever and beautiful. You're kind in a cruel world. You can choose your beliefs. You will speak your mind, and for those who can't. You will fight injustices, and for those who can't. And when someone tries to hurt you, abuse you, use you, coerce you, silence you in any way, you can say, nah, not today, because my mama taught me to know, believe, and love myself just the way I am. Have a slice of raspberry cheesecake, baby girl. That's what she said. Okay, because I am keeping an eye on the time. I'm trying to behave myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the one that I was actually asked to read. And it's called Every Day is Women's Day. And it was a poem that I started the first half of it in 2017 for International Women's Day. And I got to halfway and just left it. And the nature of poetry and writing is sometimes you just can't force it. You cannot just force the thing. You can, but it will show. Or you can just let it, happen as naturally and organically as it should. And the following year, I was invited to read something, poetry, in the Houses of Parliament on the eve of International Women's Day, so just 2018. And in Thatcher Room, so I couldn't help myself but add a little to the poem. And this is it. It's called Every Day is Women's Day. When I read this, I'm going to jump off the stage, so don't kill me. Every day is Women's Day. Wake up and deal with my Woman's Day. Glass ceilings and jeering day. Snatched dreams and leering day. Every day is Women's Day. Going to her rape hearing day. Reliving through it all again day. No one will believe her day. Hashtags Me Too and Time's Up Day. Every day is Women's Day. Her colleague earns more than her day, expected to raise the kids' day, explain the gaps in her CV day, and put up with setbacks in her career day. Every day is Women's Day. Judge for her appearance day. Thighs too fat day, skin too dark day, lips too thick day, hair too kinky day, voice too aggressive day, fit into that box day, HR wasn't built for her day. Every day is Women's Day. Fight for her rights day, but take a moment to breathe day. Celebrate with her sisters day. Today is I'm a Woman Day. Today is Remember We Exist Day. Remember we have rights day. Remember we have voices day, and a reminder that we will use them day. Every day is Women's Day. Every day is Women's Day. Wake up and deal with my Woman's Day. There is a special place in hell for women. Women who let other women burn, like in the fires and horrors of Grenfell, in the richest borough with the cladding and the buck passing continuing, but few of those bucks reaching the hands that lost loved ones and dwellings, homes and belongings, and the death toll shrinks as if those who died come back to wipe the ink from the toll. And in the words of Michael E. Quadro Amario Jr., did you think we forgot about them as well? There's a special place in history for women who snatch the ladder from under other women when they have climbed to a place of safety, and the milk from the mouths of their babes as well. Every day is Women's Day. Every day is Women's Day. Wake up and deal with my Woman's Day. There's a special place in memory for women who detain other women indefinitely in Yarlswood and others too many to name. A special place for those whose austerity measures messes with other women's livelihoods, condemning the marginalized and disabled to lives of destitution and even early graves. If you are that woman, draw a short straw and imbibe the canal from whence you came. Every day is Women's Day. Every day is Women's Day. Wake up and deal with my Woman's Day. So, while we can wave our congratulatory flags and pat ourselves on all our backs, we need to ask if all other women are also free. And they say a whole centenary's gone by since women won the vote, without taking apart who here was meant and included by the word women. Every day is Women's Day. Every day is Women's Day. I wake up and deal with my Woman's Day. Who here was marginalized? Who here was marginalized and forgotten? Whose plights were erased? It's important to remember that many women and men we honor today stand and stood on the other side of what society practiced then. The Pankhursts who were honored fought against an injustice. Dr. King and the two Mandelas, Nelson and Winnie, who we rewrite today, were considered dangerous people in their times. So out here in intersectional land, I too have a dream for all women to be treated equal, because every day is Women's Day. Every day is Women's Day. Wake up and deal with my Woman's Day. Thank you.